a quick little podcast talking about the nutrition challenge, right?
Yes.
Why are you laughing?
Because you're like, what are we talking about?
Well, we had some technical difficulties, so I'm in a full sweat. All right, so I'm going to not talk as much as you guys, so go ahead.
So, Nicole, you want to share your first week experience on intermittent fasting. First, let me preface that Nicole is a frequent eater. Is that a good way to
frequent
say?
eater.
Yes,
Frequent eater.
that's a nice way to put it.
That's a very nice way to put it.
Melissa, she rivals you, son.
She's a grazer, right?
Yes, very healthy eater, but she's a, every regimented few
How often
hours.
do you think you ate before?
Probably every 2 hours. I had to eat
like
something.
that.
Yeah, you did.
And it was a lot of work to prep and have all that food available constantly. So
Especially healthy, too.
Yeah.
It's super easy to find crud to eat
Yeah.
quickly. But
Like a Snickers bar?
Like a Snickers
Yeah.
bar or, whatever.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. Well, we're
a long
on the
ways out
last
from fast.
90 minutes from our fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you survive?
So week 1 was great and terrible. It was, I had my moments where it was really tough. The first few days especially, my body was screaming because it was so used to getting that food. As soon as I woke up, my stomach was growling, and it's not because I really needed it. It was just what I'd trained my body to want every day. So skipping breakfast, which is also my favorite meal of the day, by the way.
I like that's my jam.
Yes.
I
Well,
eat
I've just
breakfast
learned
all
to eat it
day.
for lunch, which is great. Like I'm going to have eggs for lunch today. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that was really tough. And I actually eased into it before this challenge started. I took your advice. I didn't start with the 16-8, which is where I am now. I fast for 16 hours and then I have that 8-hour eating window. I started with I pushed breakfast out by just a couple hours, and then I pushed it out a little more, and then I forego it altogether. And now I'm finally at this point where I'm doing the full 16, and some days were fine, and then other days I was like, man, I feel kind of dizzy. I have a little headache. I don't know if I can do this.
It's very emotional.
It is.
It is.
I found a lot of emotions came out. We
It
almost
is.
killed each other at one point, right? Early on, remember, when we were
Probably
both
a few
very.
times, yeah.
Yeah. But then, you have to remember, my body has plenty of fuel stores.
Yeah.
I'm not going to die.
Yes.
I'm going to be okay. And I had my black coffee. Unfortunately for me, I already drank black coffee, so that was very easy. And I just came to look forward to that. That was like my breakfast, And I might have an extra cup now, but that's okay.
Totally.
And, plenty of water. I end up hitting my water goal 3 hours into the day because I'm just trying to keep on.
Give me something.
But that's getting better, and I'm actually starting to feel really good. Yeah.
Amazing.
I know. It's crazy.
I know. There's a huge emotional response to intermittent fasting. First, when you explain what intermittent fasting is to people, and they're like, "Oh no, definitely not," or they're like, "Oh, I already do it. I just have, a bowl of oatmeal in the morning."
I eat a
but
small
that's
breakfast. It's
Right.
intermittent fasting.
It's not intermittent. That's not
No.
fasting. It's not that. It's great that you're eating light, but it's not fasting.
Now, mentally and emotionally, it's a whole different thing when you actually do it.
Yes.
And then chemically too. I mean,
Yes.
and we've talked about this in the past, but on a chemical level and even on a cellular level, when you fast, you're basically repairing your existing cells, as opposed to when you eat on a regular basis, you let them die and you grow new cells.
Right.
So what it does is your body's learning how to fight disease in it better than it would any other way, because typically we just reproduce cells. This is repairing them. So supposedly it makes you healthier and more apt to fight disease.
You live longer. Yeah, that's what
live
the
longer.
studies are showing.
Totally.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
great.
And is intermittent fasting for everyone? No.
No,
I mean,
definitely.
people have glucose issues, thyroid issues, or maybe they have certain, goals that they need to meet. Maybe they are, like Mike, he does his, what kind of training is that called? I always mix it up. He's not a bodybuilder. He does competitions for fitness competitions, not like CrossFit. But he has specific macros he has to eat at certain hours, and that works for him. But for the general person who wants to eat 80% healthy, but still have some joy in their life, in their food, 20% of happiness, Intermittent fasting is a great way to do it because it allows you to get your body into that fat burning state and allows your body to say, you know, oh, I need to consume some of this stored stuff.
Sure.
Before I get to eat again. And you don't die.
Right.
Now, you talked about dirty fasting.
Yes.
What is dirty fasting?
So there's clean fasting. Clean fasting is during your fasting period or your 16 hours, or some people do 20 hours, some people do 1 meal a day, which that would be considered a 24-hour fast. Some people do 14 hours, 12 hours. During your fasting period, you are only allowed water, not sparkling water, water, black coffee, no bubbles, black coffee, and black tea. That's considered a fast. Dirty fasting would be if you put a splash of cream in your coffee, if you drink sparkling water, if you have anything that has a sweet taste to it, like let's say sugar-free gum, that can trick your body to coming out of fast.
Even sugar-free gum.
Even sugar-free gum, diet sodas, not that we promote soda to begin with, but anything that gives you that sweet intake would be considered a dirty fast. Is it still under 50 calories? Yeah, most probably. But it's still not.
But you're dirty.
It's
So I was dirty fasting sometimes last week and not realizing it because I was drinking sparkling water and thinking it was fine. So this is good for me to know.
Yes, and we dirty fast.
Dirty fasting's not horrible. Like we put a
frequently.
splash in our coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
But one of the things to know is that if you are intermittent fasting and maybe you've hit a plateau, take that dirty fast out. Make it a true fast. Make it water, tea, black coffee, and see if that resets your body. Because your body just might be thinking that it's eating if you're chewing that sugar-free gum, or you're, putting down that sparkling water or the splash of cream in your milk, in your coffee.
Do you guys know how many people are doing IF on this challenge?
A lot.
I mean, if you had to guess, really?
A lot, yeah.
There's a good amount of people doing IF.
Some of them are doing it in conjunction with other things, so it's not just IF, but it's also eating clean
There's
or
a lot of
IF and
people
counting
suffering
macros.
right now.
Yes, yeah. And so for those of you drinking the sparkling water, if you're outraged, I'm with you. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good to know. And maybe it helped us get through week 1, and now we can ease into it.
Exactly. But the intermittent fasting does allow you to have that, you're going to a birthday party. It does allow you to have a little bit of cake.
Didn't you go to a birthday party?
I went to an engagement party
Oh my gosh.
for
how
my
was that?
bridezilla
What was-
sister.
Oh, goodness.
She's not in our group, so I can say this. Total bridezilla.
Not going public.
Actually, she's self-proclaimed, so it's fine.
Oh, there
But they're getting married in Spain, so at their party this weekend,
Wow.
yeah, fun.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
It is. But at the party this weekend, they had a paella station, which some of you may have seen. I posted a picture of it.
It was amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was like, I'm watching them do it. And then obviously there's like meats and cheeses beforehand, and there's all the alcohol and all the things, right?
Wow.
But what was nice about the intermittent fasting was like, I said, okay, well, this party starts at 5 o'clock. I want to be able to enjoy myself till probably 9. So I'm going to push out. My eating window is normally noon to 8. I'm going to push it out a little bit. So I fasted until 1:30, and then I was good until 9:30.
And how did that feel changing the time?
It was an adjustment, right? By like 12 o'clock, I was a little hangry.
Yeah.
I definitely felt it, but then I eased into it when it was time for me to eat. I did, small meal or snack really, then had a decent lunch, and then held off and didn't really eat anything, saved it for the party, and I felt great, and it was awesome.
There's
That's
kind of
good.
like that line when you fast that like you feel like you're gonna die, but then when you pass that line, you're like, I don't even need to eat. You know what I mean? Like
sometimes,
it's so
yeah.
weird. It's sometimes we'll push. We normally stop at or eat at 1, and sometimes just things will happen. It'll be 2, and it'll be 3, and then we're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what
Just
I
do one
noticed-
We'll do one meal and be
Yeah.
done.
Exercise, and I don't know if anybody else who's been doing this feels this way. I might be really hungry, and then I'll do the 9 a.m. WOD sometimes with class, and all of a sudden I feel fine. Like
Yeah.
it almost
I
curbs my
agree.
appetite for a little while.
I agree. That's why I like working out in the morning, is because
Yeah.
I feel like after I eat, I'm not hungry.
And I was terrified, I'll admit, of working out in a fasted state.
Well, that's a super common thing. People
Yeah.
say to me all the time, well, I want to do fasting, but I can't not work out without food.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there was an article I posted, I think last year, but there's a great article out there about how actually it's better to work out on an empty stomach, some studies said. So, you won't die.
No.
It's the way I work out every day, is on an empty stomach. Same thing for you. So we've done it for 2 years, and we're still here. So
Yeah.
it's all right. But mentally, yeah, it's an adjustment because you're used to saying, well, I need fuel.
Yep.
If I don't have fuel, I can't work out. And it's not true. It's
And
not true.
that actually reminds me, the question came up on the Facebook group about BCAAs, having them because, concerned about working out in a fasted state. And can you kind of speak to that?
So the BCAAs, that's really a personal choice. Some people feel that you don't need them. Some people feel that you do need them. And I think that's something that really, if it works for you, that's great. Go for it. Doesn't personally work for me, but that's again, personal choice. BCAAs typically are very sweet, so that would kind of fall into that dirty fasting state.
Gotcha.
So if we're under 50 calories, we're still technically in a fasting state, but it's a dirty fasting state. In order to know whether it truly breaks your fast or not, you would have to get blood tests and see your glucose, and obviously nobody's
I
going
can
to
tell
be
you
doing
from
that.
my experience that stuff will jack up your stomach if you don't have food in it, for me.
That's true.
So
Okay.
I forget fast, not fast. I know for me, if I've ever taken it on an empty stomach, it jacks my stomach up.
Interesting.
Like I can't process it. I don't have the best stomach in the world, but I was talking to Mike White, who works the counter on Saturday, and he has a lot of experience with BCAAs, and he felt the same thing. He felt like it might actually make your stomach feel a little sick.
Okay.
So whether food helps with the absorption process or not, I don't know. I haven't researched it, but I know personally, like, I need something in my gut to just
have
be able
that.
to have that in my stomach because, it can wreak havoc. So
Gotcha.
Something else to think about.
something else to think about.
So maybe, taking those BCAAs, but, putting it within your eating or non-fasting
Yeah.
time period.
Right.
May require you to adjust your workout schedule if that's what you really want to do. But again, it's a personal choice. It would be considered probably along the lines of dirty fasting because
Okay.
it isn't water, tea, or black coffee.
Right.
Gotcha.
All right, so what else with the challenge? What else can we help people with for this week? And we're going to try and do a few of these weekly check-ins to try and help people out. We're going to keep them short, 15 minutes or so, and then be done. Anything pop up in the group that you guys feel like you'd like to just actually address as opposed to typing it and all that?
I had a question from someone about, cheat meals, cheat days. And they said, hey, Nicole, so for this challenge, can we have a cheat day? My wife wants to know. I'm like, sure, it's your wife. I'm actually talking about,
Ask for a friend,
yeah,
quick.
I'm talking about Coach Dan, actually. I think I could say that. No, but it was a great question, and it's valid. And, I said to him, I'm like, the great thing about this challenge is that, you really dictate what you're going to do here. So it's what works best for you. And ultimately, I think the best approach is one that's going to be sustainable, right? So if sustainable for you is having that one day a week where you veer from the clean eating, then fine. Now, Dan's also doing intermittent fasting. So I said, let's keep it within your intermittent fasting window if at all possible.
that's great.
Keep the portions where they need to be, but go ahead and indulge in that, less clean food on Saturday with your wife. Like, enjoy that. That's important, right?
And even more so, intermittent fasting allows you to have that one meal a day option. So let's say it's Thanksgiving and you're going to crush it because your mom makes the best Thanksgiving dinner ever. That's the day that you skip breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
You have a light dinner the night before and you do a 24-hour fast, and then you can enjoy life. Granted, don't pile your plate like this, but you can still have, the stuffing and everything that goes along with it without the guilt.
Totally.
It's about
So-
sustaining in long term. Even if you don't want to do it beyond the challenge, 6 weeks is still a long enough term where you
Yeah.
kind of have to find a way, how do I do this, still play by the rules, but,
Right.
don't say, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, I can't go out. Which we've been trying to eat some meals out and put some photos up that, some people say you can't do it you can't eat clean going out. Well, yeah, it's definitely a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to Chili's, it might be a little harder, but
You have to pick and choose your restaurants.
but I mean, it can be done.
Yeah.
You just
Not
have
at
to
Olive
be creative.
Garden.
No.
Don't they have that like all you can eat bread or something?
Yes, the
Breadsticks.
breadsticks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
You know
been
who
there
goes to
sometimes.
Olive Garden and gets a salad? You know, you don't go for the salad.
Oh, I know.
We talk about it all the time because the boys have never been to Olive Garden, and I don't think we've ever been to Olive Garden together.
I've been to Olive Garden once.
Maybe
Don't the
twice.
boys love chicken parm? I'm surprised they haven't
They
been to
adore
Olive Garden.
Yeah, but we don't like Olive Garden.
Gotcha.
So we're like, we just have to take you one time in your lives so you can get like the free bread and see what it's
Right.
about,
Yeah,
and
so
like all the
so
pasta
that
you can
yeah,
eat.
Yeah.
you have to have
Nothing against Olive Garden, people.
well-rounded.
Just saying that's your
I'm
thing.
sure it's.
All right?
You know, I have probably not been there in 25 years.
Sure.
It could be phenomenal.
It could be
for
amazing.
all
We could be
know.
missing out,
I know. It's very possible.
but not on the challenge. I don't think anybody
no,
should go
not
to
on the
Olive Garden.
challenge.
No.
Very hard to eat clean on the challenge. And you know, even like we went to a restaurant the other night and we were trying to be good. Thank you, Heidi, for the background
Heidi
noise.
wants to jump in.
We were trying to be good. You know, we were getting, we were trying to get a side salad as opposed to fries.
Yeah.
and
Oh, it was
we
such.
couldn't
Can I
get-
just tell you what a train wreck?
Oh my gosh.
What a friggin' train wreck! I'm not going to mention the restaurant,
No,
but
no, we don't want to do that.
holy God Almighty! Like,
Oh my
talk about
gosh.
trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, can we get this without fries with just a side salad? Oh, I don't know about that. You know, we don't do that. And
Oh, come
like,
on.
Well, they have salads on their menu. You know, it was
Yeah.
kind of a
it
higher
was like
end
somebody was
restaurant, too.
screwing with us. So
Yeah.
they wound up taking 2 pieces of lettuce, a beat up tomato, and some celery and threw it on Paige's plate.
Oh
And
no.
it was just like it was so sad
So
looking.
sad.
It was
Oh.
like it was the worst
Come
meal.
on.
It was awful.
I was almost angry. Well, actually, I was angry. I was angry I had to
we
pay
were.
for it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, not everywhere you can do that, and even if you have the best intentions, it might go sideways, and you still leave hungry either way. But no, you can eat out, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, any other struggles that have been coming up with people in the group that we could talk about?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
No, people are doing pretty well. I think sometimes people struggle to come up with new and interesting ideas to like keep them, you know, excited about what they're eating. It's like,
Sure.
but what's awesome with the group is that everybody's sharing what they're doing. Like Alyssa posted something, these like balsamic glazed pork chops
Oh,
that
they
look.
so good.
I know. Well, and
I
I've been
just like
friends with
looking
her
at
for
people's
years,
food.
and you go over there for dinner, and it's like you can't move afterwards because you just want to eat everything.
And
It's
they
a,
looked really good.
yeah. So,
Courtney had some air fryer broccoli
Yes.
that makes me
We
want to
need
go
an
buy
air
an
fryer.
I know.
I know. I have to find out from her what.
I don't even know what it is. but I
Joni
want an
made
air
some
fryer.
kind of awesome salad with like peaches and
Oh, the
pumpkin
peaches on the
seeds.
salad.
Yeah.
that looked really
So like
good.
sharing that stuff is awesome,
on
guys,
fast.
because then
Still on
yeah,
fast.
we're really hungry over here.
Hour and 15 minutes still for our fast.
But like that's awesome. So keep doing that. It's really fun to see everybody what everyone's doing. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the first email should have been completed by now. So Nina is tallying up all the points from the first week so that we can see who the male and female leaders are. Remember, the male and female winners of the end of the challenge get some cash in their pocket.
Cha-ching.
So maybe they could go out to eat and have a healthy meal out.
Yeah.
So
or cheat meal, whatever.
Or cheat meal.
yeah, you're entitled to one cheat
Or
meal
Olive
when you're
Garden.
done.
We should give out gift certificates to Olive Garden.
Oh.
Everybody.
I'd rather
Instagram's
like Max Devereaux
no.
or something.
Oh, Max
Yeah,
Devereaux.
exactly.
I love
so
Max
good.
Devereaux,
I
yeah.
like Max Devereaux. We were just
Eat
there and
local.
we were talking about how we were eating there on the challenge, and we were talking about how we wanted to post food from there to show people. Like, I have to say, out of everywhere we go,
That's
like
the
around
easiest
town,
place.
it's
Yeah,
the easiest place
I
to
could
eat
see that.
clean. And she's awesome. Like, if you tell her, like, you know, I want to have this, but without, you know, I think I get like one of their wraps without the wrap, and make it into a scramble or something.
Yeah.
And she does that like all the time.
That's
no
great.
problem,
Or
so.
she'll do like that veggie burger over a salad.
Oh yeah, without the bun.
Yeah,
And
with the balsamic on the
really
side.
good.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So love Max Devereaux as well. We're big fans. Alrighty. So
Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about is
Oh.
with the challenge, how many days are they supposed to work out a week?
they are supposed to do 3 classes a week.
Okay.
So JSA classes can be CrossFit, rowing, weightlifting, or martial arts.
Okay.
But
So
they're
what if I do the
supposed to
challenge
move
every day, right? But what if I'm doing the challenge and I'm not really working out? Is that like, am I going to get less results, same results? What's going on?
Your results will definitely be diminished.
Sweet Lord. Just film them.
Oh, we have some noisy dogs. Anyway, are you really filming him?
Yeah, I'm going to film him so everybody can see what I'm looking at.
Splice
Go
it
ahead.
into the video.
My dogs
Everybody can
are out of
see.
control. Go ahead. Working out.
Well, anyway, so working out definitely helps to build your metabolism, give it a boost, especially if you're lifting weights. If you're lifting weights, you're not only burning calories during that hour that you're lifting, but you're burning calories for 18 hours after.
Yeah.
So pick up those dumbbells, pick up that barbell, lift some weights. It's going to definitely help you meet your goals.
And that's a common thing we talk about a lot because we get the most common thing, and I'm not taking anything from this, is I went for a run, which is great. You should go for runs.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the way anaerobic versus aerobic works in your body, the lifting of weights, like Paige said, is we're going to continue to burn fat for a good amount of time after that workout. Where a run, you're done. You're going to stop burning fat when the workout's over.
To
Correct?
give you an idea, I was speaking to Christian last night, and he was talking to me about his macros. And I said, well, are you carb cycling? You know, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, Nicole told me what I should be doing on the days that I'm not working out, but I am working out every day. He's like, I did 10 minutes at home of like, I can't remember what he said. He's like, so, you know, I'm working out.
Was it
I
a
go,
bar workout when
I
those
said-
bars on the wall then?
There's something going on down here.
What's going on? Oh, peanut butter. That's what it is.
And I said, okay, but that would be considered a rest day. If you're not lifting and moving heavy weight for you. Heavy weight for you is different than heavy weight for me.
And we learned this when we did RP,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Renaissance periodization, for those of you who don't know what RP is. But you only carb cycle when you are lifting heavy weight.
Right.
If you have gone out for a 3-mile run, that's awesome. Everybody needs to do that. Everybody needs to build the endurance. But it does not mean that you get to eat all those carbs.
So that's a low carb day.
That is a low carb day, treated as if it was a non-workout day.
And that's, a lot of people don't know that. I know we didn't know that for a long time. And yeah, you think you work out and you're like, hey, I'm good. And it's like, you know, it's really the lifting of something heavy, whether it's a heavy sandbag or whatever. It doesn't have to be a barbell. No. But like heavy
Kettlebells.
exertion.
Yes.
Like if I did a heavy sled workout, it would fall into that.
Absolutely.
Right? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
You should have received your week 2 email. Keep track of your points. You can either go in every day and mark off that you've done things, or you can just go in at the end of the week and mark off everything you want. I don't know if you've seen the Google email, but Nina has done a beautiful little spreadsheet where it basically is just a handful of questions, and they just mark off if they did it, and then when they're done for the week, they submit it, and the points get tallied, and so it could not be any easier.
And I know the deadline is the Monday the following week. Is there a time by that Monday that they need to submit it by so Nina can get everything in there?
You know what? Nina would probably like it submitted by 5.
Okay.
Because I know that she was working on the numbers last night.
Okay.
She was here.
Got it.
So,
So let's try for 5 o'clock by that Monday.
yes.
Okay.
All right, so everybody stay on track, keep working,
Yep.
and we'll try and put something up. If not next week, then the week after. If you guys have questions, they should contact through the group, right?
Yep,
Try to
absolutely.
make your questions, if you can make them public. If not, you can individually message any of us. Not me, I don't really know much, but them.
He just eats what I put on his plate.
That's right. I will send you over to Paige. All right, guys, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you.
Thanks, guys.